Good morning, guys. So, during the last show, what? You look so intent. What's the matter? During the live show, by the way, our plastic is not kitten proof. If you couldn't tell. During the live show, someone had asked me about the canal system. I don't remember who it was that asked, so I'm sorry about that. It asked about the canal system and how it worked. And what the canal system is our irrigation water comes from snowmelt in the mountains. So snowmelt, rivers, reservoir, canal system. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a little river, and it goes from the bigger canals into the smaller ditches that we then flood irrigate with, and more recently they use pivot systems, which are sprinklers. And I do the same thing. I have a drip system, sprinkler system. We do flood, but I do also, let's see if you can see the rope. I have a hose that goes down into, let's see if I can show you the hose. The hose goes down into the canal, and we have a gas pump that then pumps the water to the trees. Mine is quite different than most. I did not go to a store to buy it as far as the system. What are you doing, kitty? Are you getting a drink? Mine, I use a drip system because the algae and all the other fun stuff in the water is detrimental to the commercially available sprinkler and drip line system. So I made my own. I drilled quite significantly large holes, I think a quarter inch holes, and then I cut off pieces of pipe to work as a snap cap over the top that would pressurize the system so that the pressure would continue all the way down. Sorry, I'll turn towards the sun. Now that we've been into it 5 to 6 years, we've had this water system here for 3 years. I finished it the year that we left, and so the renters have had the benefit of it for 2 years, and I got to finish it just before I left. But it works really well, really efficient. It's fantastic. So that's what it is. That's the irrigation system. This is part of the system. This is part of the system. It's the way that I manage it to which part of the property I want it to go to. These parts are the ones that are most expensive. Each one of these little turners is about $13. I also have a sprinkler system set up with this, and the reason is that to some degrees it's easy to, sorry, take my hand off the camera. The swales are pretty easy to water because I just put one of those hoses down and it drip lines, but that's a very small portion of my property. And I have quite a bit of pasture that we cannot flood irrigate because of its location. And so I also have this sprinkler system. And this is, let's see if I can show you what it looks like. Can't see very well. That's what it looks like. It's very, very simple. I have one, can't see what you can see, one there, one there, one on this side, one on that side, one One on this side, one on that side. And I can still graze the goats out here. So I just want to make sure about my location on all my sprinklers, because the goats did drag them. The goats did drag them a bit last time they were up here. We were deworming them because in the back they have quite a bit more water. In the lawn, or in the pasture, because we flood irrigate, and the more moisture you have, the more parasites you have. And so we brought them up here to get kind of detoxed a little bit, wormed them, and then we took them back in the back, and we made sure that we took them to a spot that was not as lush as before, because after being on this sparse grass for a week, their rumen is not acclimated to alfalfa as well anymore, and we don't want them to get bloat. We did lose one animal to bloat last month. It wasn't from pasture, it was from hay that she'd been on for a week. This is what, sorry, I'll just stare into the sun. This is what Siberian pea shrubs look like when they've already split their pod. And this is what they look like just before they split their pod. They're brown and stiff. And those are fantastic permaculture trees because they are nitrogen producers. Hi ducks. Alright, so I'm going to switch this. It's very simple. And the one that needs to be done is the lawn. See if we can find a spot where you can see. There we go. I have to turn a bit of the water off over here because I did have it on in order to get enough pressure up there. I mean, but you can see they're already going pretty good, but I want them going a little stronger. And this guy over here got really well watered yesterday. I also used this system to water the ducks up here to fill up their pool so that we're not using well water. But I need to close off the one up front so that we have enough pressure. Okay, so this one broke. This one broke, and so now I just use my handy dandy little wrench to turn it on and turn it off. And it'll probably still leak a little bit. We have our neighbor's cows. He puts his cows in here in the fall and spring. And so that's why there's all this lovely string. It's because they got hungry and it looked better on this side of the fence. So these are our apricots. I think this one is Manchurian, but I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out. Aren't they pretty? We're really excited. This year we didn't have the hard frosts late in the spring, early summer. So we have more fruit. This is the golden currant. And it always looks just a little bit like peaked. Even though it has plenty of water. Asparagus patch, and I really have turned this into a food forest. It's not an orchard. And when we have a lot of rabbits, this is one of the places that I put them because underneath the trees are a happy place. Let's see if I have any eggs. No eggs this morning, not yet. All right, so I'm gonna go double check on those. I'm gonna go double check. By the way, what do you guys think of my camera? I like it pretty well. So this is our roundabout, and it does, everything in here is either native to our area or a food plant. We do have an apple tree and I think a plum tree in there. And then hackberry, Canadian chokecherry, etc., etc. And we have grapes climbing up into these trees. I don't care so much if the grapes climb up into these aspens. The reason is they're not a fruit tree. They're not like a little more sensitive. I didn't want the grapevine climbing up into the pear tree because it's going to shade out the sun from all those pears. The tree needs enough light. This one, the aspen, it'll be fine. So this is a riverbank grape. This is not a conventional grape. It's a riverbank grape. And it will, I don't know, this is the first year it's fruited, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's see. I have my snake attracting brush pile that's actually breaking down pretty quickly. I think it's beautiful. Most people don't think it's beautiful. But there's our water. It waters the whole pasture. And I have to use those sprinklers that have the really big holes because it'll blow out solid matter. I cannot use a pivoting sprinkler. And some of these sprinklers are better than the others because they have bigger holes. And it would actually be better if I replaced them with the ones with the really big holes. That one at the end that is not working has a sprinkler that, even though it's big, it's not big enough. And when people in our area are done with things, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll throw whatever they've stopped using into the canal system. Bodies, not even kidding, bodies, like of animals and things, pumpkins, pesticides, herbicides. So I don't let the kids play in this water. But they throw all kinds of junk in here. And the last one that I found really frustrating was people had thrown their lawn clippings in. And so the last few times that I've watered out here, I've had to come and pull lawn clippings out of my sprinklers. So you can see this one. I don't know if you can see. I need to get in and clean it out. And I don't want to do that with my phone on, so I'm going to put it in my pocket so that it's not getting wet. So this is my bliss. This is where I learned to ride when I was 9. And now the kids and I are coming back to do it, and it's pretty blissful. All right?
I have the horses running up the
You got it? Good job. Well, get his reins just a little bit shorter so if he goes forward, you can stop him.
Oh, I'm not going over
Sorry, I'm on a slow boat to China this morning.
That's okay.
Very fast.
Huh? You want to ride your horse? Who's your horse?
So I'm going to show you what it looks like when we flood irrigate. We have the goats on very sparse pasture right now. So now we needed to bring them back and not have them on really rich pasture to start them out with. So that's why this looks a little bit short, is because this one is not our richest spot. Our richest spot is over there. So there's that. There's the siphon tubes. We have some more siphon tubes over here that are quite a bit larger, but that's how we do it. And this is the richer part of the pasture. That part of the pasture has quite a bit of alfalfa and clover and everything else in it. That's what it looks like.